class.
And I'm Camille Walther. The Public Relations Student Society of America annually holds the Bateman Case Study Competition to allow students to showcase their education and internship experiences by implementing a full public relations campaign. The goal of this year's competition was to increase awareness among children, teens, parents, and other key audiences of the short and long-term consequences of youth bullying, and to inform these audiences of the steps they can take to prevent and report bullying. When we did our research, we realized that bullying has hit close to home, and these three girls all took their own lives because of bullying in the past year and a half, and so we decided to use them as our basis of the research and why we found it important.
After we did our research, we of course developed a SWOT for our own campaign. We found that one of our really great strengths was that all of us are really competent, hardworking students who are fairly knowledgeable about social media and BizCom. In addition to that, we are closer in age than any other people would be to our target audience, which was middle school students. Our weakness was definitely that there was a lot of high involvement in the campaign with a very limited amount of time to execute it, because it was only executed from February 1st to February 28th, and all material had to be deleted from Facebook, Instagram, and whatnot on February 28th at midnight. In addition, we found that because our name was To Be Honest, that our target audience might have some trouble differentiating between our campaign and the Facebook bullying game of To Be Honest. But we did recognize that one of our great opportunities was that there's a growing increase of awareness for bullying, especially in South Louisiana, and that our target audience interacts a lot on social media, so that gave us an opportunity to build a platform. One threat we did find was that the middle schoolers value peer acceptance a lot, so we felt that if all of them thought that bullying was okay, then none of them would be willing to change, but you had to manipulate that idea essentially. And then secondly, it was that Mardi Gras break took a huge chunk out of our campaign time, a whole week that we couldn't reach any students, and we needed to create a contention plan for that.
So our target audience, we decided to focus on middle school students because this is the age when a lot of students form their social media profiles, and so they're starting to interact with each other online. And we knew we wanted a focus of our campaign to be cyberbullying. So we thought this was a really great opportune time for us to reach them when they're just beginning their activities online, and they haven't necessarily developed those negative behaviors yet, and we can teach them about it before they really dive in. And so these people are between 11 and 14 years old, and their generation is Generation Z, which means that they interact with each other online. It's heavy texting-based, social media-based kind of communication, which means that they desire instant gratification and they have very short attention spans. Secondarily, we decided to focus on the adults who play really important roles in these children's lives every day, such as their parents, teachers, and school administrators. So we felt that if we could educate those people about our messages, they could help us to pass those along and carry them on past the conclusion of our campaign. So these people are mostly members of the millennial generation.
To best accomplish reaching our target audience, we partnered with the Boys and Girls Club of Greater Baton Rouge and the Recreational and Park Commission for the Parish of East Baton Rouge. And we figured that these organizations would create credibility and familiarity with our campaign. And also, these organizations wanted to carry on our campaign and its message within their programs after we finished.
Therefore, we decided that our key themes and messages would come from a popular source among middle school students. Music is huge, especially Fun, the band. So we chose What Do You Stand For?, a lyric from Some Nights by Fun. This also collaborated with our central message, Stand Against Bullying, and we realized that we need to target specific groups. Everyone has a different role within bullying, those that are bullied, the victims, and the bystanders. So we chose the overall messaging of Stand Against Bullying for all Baton Rouge Middle School students and the community members, and then specifically targeted each one with a particular message.
Our overall goal for our campaign was to stigmatize bullying behaviors with a strong emphasis on cyberbullying. within each objective, we had a total of 14 different strategies and 52 different tactics that we enacted. And so our 3 objectives, one was to improve actions regarding bullying behaviors, one was to improve awareness about bullying, and the third one was to actually engage people with our campaign.
Implementing our objectives and our goal, we hosted 20 educational sessions. We were present on 7 social media platforms, and in addition to that, we hosted 3 campaign events.
Our educational sessions, we wrote an educational program that we took to Baton Rouge Middle Schools, both public and private, and the sessions lasted between 30 minutes to an hour depending on what place we were going to. And we go and we talk to the kids and we give them practical solutions for recognizing bullying in their lives, for dealing with the bullying in their lives, and even if they realize that I might be a bully, we were able to tell them how they could change that.
So a lot of the information in these educational sessions came in the form of a 12-minute video that we created using LSU athlete endorsements. We reached out to the LSU athletes because we thought that they could lend us some star power, that the middle school students really look up to them and might be interested if there were LSU athletes talking about bullying on the screen, rather than just 5 girls that they don't really know. So we presented a lot of information in the form of that video, and we also wanted the students to realize through stories from the athletes about their own bullying experiences that bullying can and does happen to everyone, including LSU athletes. So we felt that that was a really strong part of our educational program, and we ended up using a kind of informal question and answer dialogue with the team, which we interrupted frequently to show clips of the video because they were really interested in the video.
It helps keep their attention for us, not just talking at them for an hour. And we also, at the end of the presentation, gave comment cards to the kids so they could give us our feedback so we could really gauge the effectiveness of our program. And we also passed out pledge cards where the kids could pledge to take a stand against bullying, and we put their names up on the website.
Because our campaign was social media based, we created a collective tool that would feature bullying information and information about participants in cyberbullying. And we also had a pledge page where visitors could stand against bullying, and a testimonial page where people could share their stories. It also had music from SoundCloud that would inspire confidence and improve self-esteem with people who visited the website. We had more than 1,400 visits, and with an average visit duration of 5 minutes.
To create a relatable perspective for our middle school target audience, we also decided to write a WordPress blog with a hypothetical bullying account from the perspective of a fictional victim. So our blog was called Diary of a Bullied Kid, and our fictional victim was named Sarah. She wrote 11 blog posts throughout the month of February about how she was dealing with bullying and cyberbullying and a lot of different forms of bullying at school and at home, and how she was dealing with it. And so at the end of the campaign, we wrote one more blog post from the perspective of the campaign team, explaining what she did correctly and what she should have done differently, and how her story, while it was fictional, could be applied to real life, and everything in the story were examples of things that happened to other kids every day in real life. So we thought this was a great way to reach down on their level. It was written at a middle school reading level, so it was a little bit easier for them to get through, and it was kind of a softer approach to learning about bullying because it was through a story rather than through hard statistics that might not always make sense.
In addition to the blog and the website, we were also present on 5 different social media platforms: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, and YouTube. Facebook and Twitter were our main source of communication with all of our target audiences, as they were constantly on there communicating with us just as many times as we posted for them. We would post all of our pictures to Instagram because it's an awesome resource for editing and sharing your photos, and we were able to share every Instagram picture to our Tumblr, our Twitter, and our Facebook. In addition, we had our educational video up on our YouTube website and included all of the individual athlete testimonials on the YouTube as well.
The tailgate was the first event that we had. We hosted a tailgate at the LSU baseball season opener. We had a table both outside the stadium and inside the stadium during the game. They gave the opportunity for people that are walking by to ask us questions, what are y'all about? They could sign the pledge to stand against bullying and just get more information. We also gave out some of our deliverables, bracelets and buttons. And we also partnered with LSU in that they would tweet us twice during the game from the LSU baseball account, which has around 50,000 followers. And they also read a public announcement during the game secondary audience because parents are there with their kids, so everybody's hearing about our message.
In a second attempt to reach our target audience only, we had a table sit at Breck Extreme Sports Park. This is a very popular area for middle school students who love to rock climb, skateboard, bike. So we decided to have a table sit where these students could take the pledge and also view our informational video on the television at the table.
And our final event was a finale to the campaign. It was called Stand Against Bullying Day. We obtained a proclamation from Mayor President Kip Holden to make February 28th, the last day of our campaign, Stand Against Bullying Day. So on Stand Against Bullying Day, we asked our online friends and followers on social media to wear green, one of our primary campaign colors, and to post pictures of themselves online using the campaign hashtag of TBHStand so that people could follow the conversation and the support all day. And we also held a Twitter question and answer finale event that night where we could moderate dialogue about bullying using the hashtag and answer people's last minute questions. And we thought this whole day, since it was online driven, was a great way to reach out to people with the campaign in a last effort since we hadn't been able to reach them necessarily in a direct fashion.
After the implementation of the campaign and we had to delete everything that we created, we had to evaluate how well we did and if we reached our target audience or not. Thankfully, we exceeded all three of our objectives. Our first objective was to improve actions about bullying and anti-bullying strategies in 75% of the people that we spoke with. We met this objective with, and exceeded it by, that's a typo, it's actually 16% of our original goal. And we did this through our educational program, which we met with over 1,500 students and collected 1,000 pledges for them to stand against bullying, with our, which also indicated that 75% of the students wanted to stand against bullying. Additionally, we found that 90% of the students had a better understanding about what bullying is and how you could stop it after we spoke with them. And we found that there was 228 students who admitted to using To Be Honest in a negative way. And of those, about 30% were going to stop bullying after they spoke with us. At our table sit event, we found that 73% of all of our visitors were willing to sign our pledge. And the website was visited by 876 people, with about 38% returning, and they were also willing to sign our pledge.
Our second objective was to spread awareness to 2,000 people in the Baton Rouge community, and we exceeded this objective by 13%. We reached around 2,200 people. This objective encompassed all of our social media networks, all of our attempts to get media coverage, and our partnerships. And we did a really great job with getting media coverage. We were covered in every major Baton Rouge news outlet, such as The Advocate, Times Pick, WAFB, WVRZ, and Daily Repley, among others. And we had a great success with all of our social media. We were able to reach a wide range of people.
And our third and final objective was to engage 500 people in an interactive online community that stands against bullying. We ended up engaging 5,348 people with To Be Honest, which represents 1,069% of the original goal of 500. So the way we measured our engagement was to examine our social media analytics and to classify each friend or follower on social media by their level of engagement, whether they were a loyalist, committed, active, casual, or lurking friend or follower.
So to thank our organizations and schools that worked with our campaign to spread its message, we created a packet. The 2 partners in 6 schools that we held our educational sessions at received our educational packet with the DVD and a thank you note. And then the 2 schools that hung our posters on their campus to spread the message received a thank you note.
So in summary, the To Be Honest campaign took on the important issue of bullying and provided middle school students with tactics and materials to prevent these things happening in their everyday lives. Our team collected pledges from 1,619 students, teachers, and Baton Rouge community members. We held 20 educational sessions at 6 schools and hosted 3 campaign events, which then reached 15,000 people in the Baton Rouge community. We had 10 media segments, which resulted in 473,000 57 media impressions, which was also $15,046 in public relations value. We partnered with Breck and Boys and Girls Club to ensure that past February our materials and campaign message would be provided in their after-school and summer programs. Please let us know if you have any questions or comments.